I have today made an application to the new Home Secretary to reconsider my exclusion as a matter of urgency. By the way, that was never done. I'm still on the list. Can I continue? It's another page long. Actually, it's a half a page. It's a document that has to be read on the radio because many of you are going to YouTube it. And you're going to say Michael Savage appeals to the new prime minister to take his name off the ban list. So here's the rest of it and the conclusion. As a student of the history of the United Kingdom, I am aware that in 1945, Winston Churchill said the following, quote, "No socialist government conducting the entire life and industry of the country could afford to allow free, sharp, or violently worded expressions of public discontent. They would have to fall back on some form of Gestapo, no doubt very humanely directed in the first instance, and this would nip opinion in the bud. It would stop criticism as it reared its head, and it would gather all the power to the Supreme Party and the party leaders, rising like stately pinnacles above their vast bureaucracies of civil servants, no longer servants and no longer civil," close quote. It seems to me that the illiberal attitude of Ms. Smith in this case evokes the worst fears of Mr. Churchill. I also noted that in your moving speech at the D-Day Memorial on Saturday, you stated, quote, "Tyranny may suppress, it cannot endure forever. Dictatorship may for a time have the power to dictate, but it will not in the end decide the course of the human journey," close quote. I believe that little could be more tyrannical than the arbitrary and unfair exercise of power to exclude someone from a country for the purposes of suppressing free speech. Here's my last paragraph. My family and I are both suffering from this grave injustice. For these reasons, I respectfully appeal to you to prevail upon the new Home Secretary to address the injustice caused by Ms. Smith and remove forthwith my name from the list of excluded individuals. Yours faithfully, Michael Savage. I have never heard anything from the Prime Minister, which was not a complete surprise. I am still banned from entering Britain. I, Michael Savage, am the only member of the American media so banned. Fox News refuses to acknowledge it. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUY-COIN. There is no greater Anglophile than I, Michael Savage. And isn't it ironic that they let haters in? Many of them Muslims who hate England, burn the flag, attack their military, spit on their war memorials, and a patriot like I am banned from England? Yeah, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more because I discovered something in my quest to remove my name from this despicable list. I found secret emails which disclosed how the British government actually colluded to destroy my name and reputation. I wasn't alone, by the way. There were many people who came to my aid, including the ACLU. The only ones who didn't come to my aid, by the way, were the conservative talk show hosts who are jealous. They have no principles whatsoever when it comes to competition. Think about it. Even the ACLU came to my aid. To no avail, but at least they said it was wrong. None of the others did. Blimbo didn't. Limpo didn't do it. So let me read you something. Michael Fabricant, member of British Parliament, was quoted. I was in every British newspaper. This was a huge story. And here's what he said. The things of which she, Jackie Smith, accuses Mike Savage are also illegal in the U.S., and he has not faced prosecution there. Does she realize how ludicrous her ban is and the disrepute into which she has put this country in the eyes of many right-seeing and indeed left-seeing people in the United States? The ban against Savage makes us look so infantile, so pathetic. What are we, some sort of kindergarten needs to be protected against these dangerous American radio shows? Said Boris Johnson, journalist, the London Telegraph. All right, you get the picture. I'm painting a short picture for you. They accused me of a thought crime. And Fox fumbled it. And Cardinal Pastor Niemöller noted this in Germany. He was a pastor and a German during the Nazi regime. And he movingly encapsulated the apathy of the people, including himself, as Hitler gained more power. Here's what he said. He said, when the Nazis came for the communists, I remained silent. I was not a communist. Then they locked up the Social Democrats. I remained silent. I was not a Social Democrat. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not protest. I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not speak out. I was not a Jew. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak for me. So first they come for the conservative talk show host, and you did not speak up? Because why? You're not a conservative talk show host? But as the poem goes, my dear listener, by the time they come to you liberals, there is no one left to speak up for you. So that's it. That's the essence of the whole story. I'm not complaining. I'm not crying. I'm not whining. But I am going to struggle again, now that we have a conservative government in England, to appeal to Cameron, now that he no longer has to beg the left to make policy to get my name off the list. And by the way, if I am lucky enough to have my name removed from this despicable list of banned individuals, I will bring an audience to England. We'll all go there together. I don't know how many of you, 500, 1,000. Maybe we'll rent a ship, and we will arrive in England together, and we'll unfurl the American flag and the British flag together and see a unity that they haven't seen since World War II. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I have a dream. I have a dream. Okay. Let's go to KSFO. Ty, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's on your mind?
Aloha, Dr. Savage. Ty in Hawaii, listen to KSFO online. I would like to say that if thinking is a crime, it certainly is not violent, and I don't agree with the ban on you.
Well, I appreciate that, and we'll send you a copy of Countdown to Mecca, which should be in the bookstores. We'll find out if they make them, if they're allowed in Hawaii. I don't know. Is Countdown to Mecca permitted in Hawaiian bookstores? Aloha. When I come back, Michelle Obama's letting loose on race in her graduation speeches once again, playing the victim and playing the race card, getting a twofer. What a dealer she'd be in Las Vegas to deal two cards at once.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Nothing compared to what folks across the country are dealing with every single day. Those nagging worries that you're going to get stopped or pulled over for absolutely no reason. The fear that your job application will be overlooked because of the way your name sounds.
Shame on you, you race
The agony
you.
of sending your kids to schools that
Lawyer.
may no longer be separate, but are far from equal.
May the first lady stop her race baiting.
That no matter how far you rise in life, how hard you work to be a good person, a good parent, a good citizen, for some folks, it will never be enough.
How do you feel about a first lady that is this hysterically angry and steaming people up while cops are getting killed? There's an epidemic of cop killings by blacks right now. Sorry, if you don't like what I just said, check the statistics. Funeral in New York, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And she's still putting out the big lie of Al Sharpton and that gang that you're going to get stopped for no reason. So the cops are now afraid to do their job, so they're getting killed. The United States is in a civil war right now. And if you don't know it, you will know it very soon. Coming to a neighborhood near you. Joe on WABC, go ahead, please.
Michael, how are you? Michael, just a quick comment about your letter to Great Britain. Unfortunately, Great Britain surrendered their country without the Muslim world ever firing a shot. They are in such fear of offending that they stifle the voice of people that speak the truth. And
well, I found an email from Gordon Brown. We have the emails. I spent a lot of money. And my lawyers found an email from then Prime Minister Gordon Brown which said we must balance the list. And they chose me, white conservative Michael Savage, to put on the list to balance out the Muslims who've been banned from England. Did you know any of that?
I didn't know any of that, and I think it's outrageous.
But I found the email. I have it. I published it in my book.
Well,
They picked me as a scapegoat, in other words. The way the Nazis scapegoated Jews, that's how I was scapegoated by the liberals in England.
I look forward to reading your book because I didn't know that, and what you're saying makes me sick. And I wish
It should make you sick because, by the way, I had the support of 99% of the thinking world at the time, including Muslims in England who were offended by it, by the way.
If I may just say one thing real quick, I wanted to thank you. I'm a police officer in New York, and I flew out to Oakland years ago to attend a funeral, and you were gracious enough to take me and a few of my friends to dinner. And I hope.
Where did we go? I remember, you guys are wearing all your, was it in the North Beach restaurant?
We went to down to the wharf. It was a place.
Oh, I don't go there anymore. The guy I knew died. I never go there again. But nevertheless, no, that was a beautiful night. I don't remember that. I mean, I don't remember the day. I remember being together and all the medals and all, Joe.
Yeah, well,
You got a lot of funerals to go to now, thanks to Al Sharpton. He's doing very well, isn't he? All the white police are getting knocked off, like one a week now. He's been, maybe he has a notch on his wall somewhere. Yeah. Maybe he high fives with Eric Holder every time another white cop gets killed. I don't know.
It's the hypocrisy that comes out of that man's mouth.
And my sarcasm is not going to be muted by Michelle Obama or any of the other race baiters or haters. They're killing our police. They're killing our children's brains.
Unreal. God bless you. Thank you very much. And you can.
All right, yeah. Thank me very much for however long I'm able to get away with it, telling the truth. Wait till she hears about this. Going on and on about it, sniveling about how oppressed she is. It's embarrassment. Listen to clip 10. Here is your first lady, not mine. Listen to 10.
It can feel isolating. It can make you feel like your life somehow doesn't matter. That you're like the invisible man that Tuskegee grad Ralph Ellison wrote about all those years ago.
Shame on you.
And as we've seen over the past few years, those feelings are real. They're rooted in decades of structural challenges.
You can't even say the word.
Feel frustrated.
Structural. You almost tripped on the word. You and the mayor of Baltimore, the prosecutor, they gave you the word structural. The liberals from Harvard wrote structural. It's sickening. It's just sickening that we have this going on. And tie it with corruption. I could live with it if it wasn't so hypocritical. If she didn't have 72 private personal aides, if she didn't abuse the taxpayer with her trips, if her mother didn't live there for free, if she didn't insult America on a daily basis, I'd say, all right, so that's the way it is. But she's a hypocrite, a stone hypocrite. That's the part that bothers me, is the hypocrisy of this couple. They're royalty, absolute royalty, and they act like they're oppressed minorities. What has to happen until we finally say enough of this crap? Enough already, Michelle. Stop it. It's an old act. Am I the only one outraged by this woman? Now, her talk about isolation, she's implying that this sense of isolation is limited to black people. She's telling college graduates at Tuskegee that if they feel isolated, it's because of racism. Does that mean that whites are not feeling isolation in their lives? Does it mean Hispanics can't feel isolation? Asians? Of course not. Humans are isolated in our society. We're all individuals sitting alone. There's no unity anymore. But she wants blacks to think that it's because of racism that they're part of the human condition. That it's not part of the human condition that they feel this alienation, but it's because of institutional racism. This is pure, unadulterated propaganda, and it's propagandist lies of the lowest order. Okay. She's an embarrassment to the word First Lady. So what is she trying to do by going to an all-black college and talking about racism like this? Tell me what she's trying to do. Same thing Al Sharpton's been doing. The same thing Eric Holder did. You can get the picture, right? They're violating the human rights of other Americans, is what they're doing. She is violating the human rights of non-black people in this country. Do you know that? She's spitting in the face of our humanity. I'm sick of it. There's nothing not only not uplifting about this woman's speech, it is the most divisive speech I've heard since last year when she gave another one. That was another doozy. Shay on WMAL in Washington, D.C., what's your opinion? Am I wrong or am I right on Michelle Obama's speech?
You're right. You're absolutely right, Dr. Savage. I mean, I find that speech deplorable, and I'm black. You're absolutely right about her being...
I don't understand it. I thought we were past this kind of race baiting. There's a whole generation of young black people like you who understand we're past that, but they're dragging us back 30 years, 40 years.
And it absolutely sick.
But Shay, why is she dragging us backwards? Why do you think her and Obama, her husband rather, specialize in dragging the nation backwards rather than moving us forwards? What is she doing?
I wish I knew the answer to that question. It boggles my mind. Someone in that position can be so divisive and purposely do it. It's not by accident that these things are happening. It's absolutely on purpose.
But wait, during this speech just the other day at Tuskegee, she talks about, You poor graduates going to be pulled over for no reason